time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We're live at the Bookie Studios. My name is Neil Rule. You know we got Uncle Terry here in the house today. T-Foss, Terry Foster, Detroit sports media icon on a Friday.
You know who's in town?
What's that?
You know who's in town?
I saw that. Was that Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson is in town. You have some business dealings with him, Terry?
I do not. I guess he got some business interests. It's not with the Detroit Lions.
No, it's not. We're not there yet. As far as my plan goes, we're not there yet. But Sawyer's there. He's in the production booth. Sam is in the sound booth as well, and we are rip-roaring and ready to go on a Friday. On our YouTube chat thread, you can tap in, get your thoughts in on the show. We kind of, we live fire here. We're rapid moving, and if you got some good thoughts in there, certainly we will get to those as well. Social media handles are on the screen also, but we are ready to rock. And Terry, we're getting set up for the weekend, and the Friday vibe is in full effect. And there was a time in my life where Thursday was the vibe day, but I'm back to feeling the Fridays again. I like a good Friday.
Yeah, why Thursday?
So like the college days, right, Sawyer? Like Thursday was where it was at. Back when I was a younger lad. When I was Sawyer's age, Thursday was where it was at.
Yeah,
you get a bar special.
You basically knew you weren't doing anything Friday, so you could start gearing it up in college.
Yeah, you could start. Do you still feel that, Sawyer? Now you've transitioned into the real world and have jobs and responsibilities. Is Thursday still the vibe for you, or is it Friday?
No, Friday's the day now.
Because
you only get the weekend now.
And Friday is still the big day. You know why? I have more people to play with on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday than you do Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
The kid when everybody gets out of school.
Right. Or work or anything.
Yeah. But and it's weird because I still do feel that Friday vibe. And look, being in college sports and broadcasting college basketball and doing soccer in the summer times, I pretty much work every Saturday of the year. So I don't get, it shouldn't, at least on paper, be that Friday vibe for me because I still got to work on the weekend, but for whatever reason I still feel it, man.
Yeah, well, it's always a special day, and plus we always look for a little bit of relaxation because it's a high pressure, high stress world. So Friday is a special day.
It is a special day, and it's always a special day here on Big D Energy. Well, every day is a special day on Big D Energy.
But you know what day sucked in college? Sunday.
Yes, it did.
Because it's like, damn. It's starting tomorrow, and then you start studying, and then the pressure of the week is already building up. I didn't like Sundays.
You know what was the worst? I think I've talked about this before. When you'd be watching football, and the Denver Broncos were always a 4:00 game, always on NBC, or CBS or what have you. The Giants would be playing the Cowboys or whatever, and that stupid watch from 60 Minutes would start ticking.
Right.
That was always that was the second I knew that the good times were over, Terry.
That's right. The weekend was over.
It was officially.
Tick.
Oh,
but
God.
at least 60 Minutes was a good show.
Was it?
You didn't like it?
Nah. I'm not a huge. I've never been a huge news guy. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Nice business you got into.
No, I get that. I get that. Tammy Chin says Sundays are still not my favorite. They're nobody's favorite. So AC says, T-Foss, can we get some college stories? Well, here's the deal, and I'll line the show up for you here today. Lions play their final home game of the weekend. We'll talk Lions, Green Bay Packers as well, as has been a staple of this show. We'll talk to the Detroit Lions hometown hero, United States Naval Officer Deshaun Wilson will be in studio here today. We'll talk about working on a nuclear submarine because that just sounds cool, number one.
And plus, nobody's been on a nuclear submarine.
Yeah, I don't even know. We discussed this a little bit yesterday, like a nuclear submarine.
I don't think I've even seen one.
Nuclear powered? We'll have him break it down. He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody has some intelligence, Terry.
I think I saw one in San Diego.
Did you? Okay. So we'll discuss that and his service to our great country, and that's been a lot of fun, that whole series that we've done this year. We'll touch on the Georgia-Alabama game. I'm curious to get Terry's thoughts on that. Some other NFL stuff that we will get to. We'll have Big D Energy Pick'em. Yes, story time with Terry Foster. Terry, lay this out. We're going to do the YouTube poll, Sawyer will get that up and cracking. Give the people two choices of story time with Terry Foster.
Okay, the first one is white girls in Portland, how special they are. So that could be a possibility.
Okay.
And so that's my favorite today. Or I'm trying to think of something historical. How about Chris Osgood? After he made a bad clearing pass that cost the Wings a playoff series against San Jose.
Okay. And just in terms of what he had to say or what your interactions were?
Yeah, after the game, after the locker room.
Okay, so this was a Terry Foster special. This was a Terry Foster one-on-one story with Chris Osgood.
Right. I just so happened to go to the right place and at the right time. And
now, we are in the Bookie Studios, and I'd be curious to know what the betting line would be on that. And I'll tell you this, Sawyer, you may be surprised. I bet the Chris Osgood story is a minus 140 favorite. You think that's fair? You think that's accurate?
No, I think white girls in Portland's going to win.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Because I ended up with a weekend girlfriend.
Oh, boy.
I know this, and look, I'm scared to know this number, but at the same time, I'm also inquisitive to know this number. Just knowing, like, we're not talking, like, how many weekend girlfriends do you think you've had in your life, Terry? Is it like Wilt Chamberlain-esque?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Just stuff happens now and then.
Okay.
Here we
go.
Probably no more than any normal red-blooded American male.
Yeah, but that's a special perk, everybody that's watching on the YouTube channel, the YouTube chat thread. You will get to vote on that. So, again, this is Choose Your Own Adventure, almost like those books for kids now. So Terry Foster gives you a couple of outcomes. You choose your own adventure, and away we'll go. We'll get to that coming towards the end of the show. Sawyer has the Motorsports Minute coming up. For some reason, a lot of you like that. I don't understand it, but you guys do. We give Sawyer 60 seconds on the dot. He can talk about racing for 60 seconds. When the clock gets to 0, Sam kills the mic instantly. We're done talking about it. But he gets 60 seconds. I'm a man of the people. It's not my thing per se, but you guys have said that you like it.
But a lot of other people, racing is popular.
And I'm down with that. Whatever makes people happy, Terry. That's
not
what
as
I
popular
want.
as it used to be, but I mean, like MIS, you can get 300,000-400,000 people there for a weekend back in the day.
All right, we have some early returns. White girls in Portland, story time with Terry Foster, out to a 56% to 44% lead. And, of course, votes are just piling up already. I love it. I do. I love it, though, and certainly we'll have a lot of fun. 9 Drink says most submarines are nuclear-powered these days. I got a feeling we're going to learn some stuff today, Terry.
I think so, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I've never been on a sub.
I've eaten a lot of subs before, but yeah, I'm with you. But no, looking forward to it. We'll talk to Chief Petty Officer Wilson a little bit later on, coming up around, I don't know, about 5 or 6 minutes from now as part of the Detroit Lions Hometown Heroes. One of the great, really, especially if you're in the building, one of the great.
Oh, you know what else happens? Like every 5 to 10 years, you always get the story about some Russians and their sub is buried in the Arctic and they can't find them.
Yeah, that is true. Maybe maybe Chief Petty Officer Wilson has some stories about that too.
Yeah, maybe the Russians' subs are not nuclear powered.
Maybe they are not.
Maybe they're coal powered. They just throw the coal in the furnaces.
Well, you'll like this too, Terry. So Deshaun Wilson was a graduate of Chadsey High School.
Okay.
In Detroit.
Chadsey would have been my 3rd high school to go to because I lived near Northwestern. Ended up at Cass Tech, but someone was trying to talk me to Chadsey because I was semi-interested in cooking.
Oh, yeah?
And they had a chef's program there.
Okay, I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that. No, but certainly we will do that as well. Lots of NFL discussion also. And speaking of NFL, just want to touch on this real quick. Sawyer brought this up because the stories, as you know, this is the last week of NFL play, which means for most saying fantasy football leagues, last week was the championship week. And my son actually won. We do like a parents, kids fantasy football league. My oldest son actually won with no draft preparation whatsoever. Just went off Madden rating, Sawyer, off the top of his head.
My goodness.
Just rolled in. When it was his turn to pick, he came out of the game room, take a look at the board, saw who was left, went through the Madden rankings calculations in his head, and that's how he rolled. And he got the job done.
Gotta respect it.
No, and he was in a position, I think it was in first or second round, I don't remember. Zeke Elliott was on the board, and David Montgomery were on the board, the running back for the Bears. And he, without hesitation, went with Montgomery over Zeke Elliott and got ridiculed in the room. And ironically enough, played the person that had Zeke Elliott in the championship game, and Montgomery obviously, had a big day, and Zeke Elliott did what he does, all bun and no burger with Zeke Elliott like always. But so you brought up a couple of things, two sad ways to lose in fantasy football. I got to take a look at these and see what the story is. Started Antonio Brown over Jamar Chase, worst decision of the year, cost him my only loss of the season. Another guy went into Monday night up 8. Nick Chubb got outscored by the Steelers kicker, and here we are.
Two pretty bad ways to lose.
Yeah, but you know what? That guy on the right that had Nick Chubb, that's what you get when you got the Browns against the Steelers.
That is true.
That's what you get. Did I not tell you guys that's how that was going to go that night?
Oh, yeah. The Browns is the Browns is the Browns.
You should get some fantasy points for the way Antonio Brown walked out. I mean, that's just so bizarre. I mean, they should give you like 5 points just for that.
Yeah, and there's obviously a lot of news coming out, too, about the whole Antonio Brown stuff with, was he injured? Was he not injured? Were there text messages? All that. He says he's not done playing the NFL. Right here, right now, is Antonio Brown playing another snap in the NFL?
He absolutely does. And I know this has been debated, and some people say he won't, but Antonio Brown can still play. His leg is not broken. Where you can't repair it or anything like that. He will play in the National Football League because the NFL is full of desperate teams with desperate fans who put pressure on their desperate general managers. He will play somewhere, and don't be surprised if he plays here. Because this is a desperate organization.
No, they're not desperate yet. Terry, you know how I'm rolling with this.
How can you say they're not desperate?
They're not desperate yet, Terry. We're only 16 of 34 into the plan, the Grandmaster plan.
It's going to be 34 days of desperation.
No, they won't. They're not going that route, Terry. They're not doing that. You see it right here.
All right, brother.
After
Whatever.
Sunday, we're halfway through. Sawyer, can you believe that we're going to be halfway through after Sunday?
That's pretty crazy.
And look at Area 1 already covered. Get the draft pick.
Yep.
Got the number 2 overall draft pick. Covered. Next year we take the scissors to the cap situation. We cut some folks. I think we all know who those folks are. Mm-hmm. And we line it up. We got to eat it on the cap next year. And then we ride. 2023 we ride.
Oh, yeah. It's just like a long game of Catan, Just got to take it low and slow.
That's all we're doing. We're building up our village and settlers of Catan. Sawyer.
Getting resources.
It's not hard at all, man.
Seeing what the other
Are you going to
villages
be in the
around
war
us are
room
doing.
next year or this year?
I'm available for hire, Terry.
Okay.
I don't just go show up for free. Like, I'm a professional.
Oh, they got to pay you.
Right.
Okay.
But then again, they could just go back and listen to the show. I kind of laid out the plan anyway for free. I guess that's on me. I need a better agent.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Just want to make sure that you're going to be there. Because it seems like you're all vested in it. You're all in.
I am, actually. With Brad Holmes, I am. For the first time, I told you, Terry, last week, for the first time since 1989, I trusted people making the picks.
Okay. Good for you.
And into the early 90s.
And you know what? I do, too. Let's make that official.
And you're a bona fide hater, Terry, unlike me.
I am. I do. I do hate what they do to this fan base. Let's put it that way.
But I think the guy's in place, man. I'm all in. Mm-hmm. I am. It's a weird feeling.
Now,
man. It really
here's
is.
the thing. He's got to make Dan Campbell look good.
We'll cross that bridge, and I know, we'll do that when we do the whole season review. We'll do the whole Dan Campbell breakdown and everything like that. We're not there yet. But speaking of Sunday, when we come back, we are going to talk to Chief Petty Officer from the United States Navy, local product as well, Deshaun Wilson. He will be the Lions' hometown hero. But look, guys, I've been up here talking about it for a very, very long time. We're in the Bookie Studios. You want to get down? NFL playoffs starting. College football national championship is Monday night as well. You're going to be watching throw $10 in there, $20 on there. Best place to do it, mybookie.ag. And we can talk about the promo code Woodward, where they double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. All you got to do, put the promo code Woodward in there. We can do that, and that's cool, and that's great. And who doesn't like a little bit of bonus cash in their account? My angle with mybookie.ag, why I believe in mybookie.ag, the interface, guys. You look at the interface, you get on mybookie.ag, it's smooth, it's easy to navigate, it's quick, it moves fast. Everything that you want, because we want easy. Do we want great deposit bonuses? Yes. Use the promo code Woodward, double the first deposit up to $1,000. Check. You want a smooth interface, though, too. You want easy to navigate, easy to see. Get to where you want to go. Get that action in. NFL playoffs are starting. Don't forget UFC will be back in action as well. All of it. You're going to be watching it. Get down with mybookie.ag. Double your first deposit. All you got to do, use a promo code Woodward. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. I have a problem with gambling? Call the Problem Gambling Helpline. 1-800-270-7117.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. He's T. Foss, Terry Foster. Remember, on our YouTube chat thread, you can vote. Story time with Terry Foster. You want White Girls in Portland? You want Chris Osgood's one-on-one with Terry Foster after he made a mistake and cost the Red Wings? It was a playoff game, you said, right?
It was. It was the series.
It was the series.
It was Game 7.
I have Chris Osgood's story is a slight favorite over the White Girls in Portland, just knowing our audience and where they are. We have a lot of hockey elite in our audience. So,
No. Those are vocal people. White Girls in Portland's going to win. It might be a landslide.
It's 50-50 right now. Why are our polls are always 50-50 for some reason? But you guys know, as we've done all season long, Lions at home this weekend against a Green Bay Packers, something very cool that the Detroit Lions and Kroger do during every game. And look, we know this through the years. Whatever's happened on the field with the Lions, whatever kind of way the Lions football game has left you feeling or all that, through all of that, the one really, really cool thing that the Lions have gotten, I think, very, very right throughout their time that they have done. That is the Hometown Hero segment, where they bring a local hometown military hero out on the field. They honor him. We have the good fortune in our MyBookie studios right now to be joined by United States Navy Chief Petty Officer Deshaun Wilson, Detroit native as well. Mr. Wilson, appreciate your time. As always, appreciate your service. Welcome to Big D Energy. How are you?
Thank you so much. What up, though?
Let me apologize straight up, because we're probably going to call you Deshaun Watson at some point during the interview, because he's in town.
He is in town.
I can take it.
Yeah.
I can take it. I wish I had his money.
Yeah, we all do. We all do.
I wish you had his arm.
Chief Petty Officer Wilson here, our guest from Chatsey High School here in Detroit, Michigan. Played 4 years of college football for Ferris State.
Yes, sir.
Set the groundwork, man. They're getting it in now.
Absolutely. National championships in football and in basketball now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No,
very proud.
They are doing that. So how does a young man from Detroit, Michigan, out of Chatsey High School that goes and plays college football, what's that progression to the United States Navy?
I had growing up in Detroit, in the inner city of Detroit, I had the opportunity of changing my stars through sports. We deal with a lot of things, growing up in the inner city. There's a lot of influences out there, bad and good. But at the end of the day, I had ROTC in high school, and I had some great mentors that saw my talent and said that, hey, maybe you can go to the next level with your talent. And coming out of Chadsey, we have the great Michael Westbrook, wide receiver. He graduated out of Chadsey. And we just seen the opportunity to seize the opportunity, because no one in my family really went to college. My grandparents didn't really care. They just wanted us to graduate high school. So having the opportunity to get a football scholarship to Ferris, I took the opportunity and went up there and thrived and had a great time. It was one of the best times of my life.
You know, and following that up, then too. I mean, so obviously you make the decision to enroll in the United States Navy.
Absolutely.
After that happens. So you go, as we talked about, you know, you go from going to high school in Detroit, play college football at Ferris State, excelled on the football field.
Yes.
You enroll in the Navy. Now you're on a nuclear aircraft carrier, the USS George Washington out of Virginia, which is famous. I mean, everybody knows the story with the USS George Washington. You know, what was it like the first time you stepped on a nuclear aircraft carrier?
It was terrifying, to be honest.
Okay.
You know, you don't know the magnitude of. It's 3 football fields long, 100,000 tons of. American muscle moving through the water at 35 miles per hour. That's carrying 5,000 people and possibly up to 130 jets on it. And, you know, launching aircraft off of a carrier and recovering aircraft on a carrier, it's an amazing thing to see. Our technology and where we're going with our technology today, it's unparalleled. A nuclear carrier doesn't have to pull in. It runs on nuclear power. The only reason we have to dock, we can run forever out on the water, but because it's nuclear power, the only reason we have to pull in is because of the human factor, to replenish our supplies and take off waste and things of that nature. But other than that, we can power forever, and the United States has 11 of them. So,
And so you guys are just out there always watching, right?
always.
See,
always.
Terry, that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Now, were you the dude waving the arm, or what did you do? Or did you put the thing that stops the plane? Or
no, when I first joined the Navy, they put me in the engineering department. I was in the fire, and I was main machinery room number 1, what they call a machinist mate.
So you weren't outside?
Oh, no.
Right.
I was 10 decks down below in the dirt and the oil and what they call the bilge. We're the ones that made sure the nuclear carrier was running. We made the potable water. We serviced the engines. It's a very complex. Everybody has a job to do. Everybody has, especially when you're dealing with nuclear power. We had to wear radiation detectors and things of that nature down in the plant. So, but the experience in the school and the knowledge that you gain by working on a nuclear carrier is unparalleled to anything in the world.
Talking to Chief Petty Officer Deshaun Wilson here of the United States Navy, as Sawyer's pulling up some of the pictures there of CPO Wilson. Spry guy up there on that screen, right? Yeah. You still looking good, though, man.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
So here's a question.
Sure.
And Mr. Wilson, I'm always amazed by this factor of it, right? So you go into the military and you enroll and you're like, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to serve my country and all that kind of stuff. But then some things changed. The climate changed.
Absolutely.
The temperature changed. Yeah. And, you had multiple deployments, the Mediterranean, Japan, everything like that.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden it gets real. Yes. And you deploy to Iraq, you deploy to Afghanistan, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom as well. I'm always amazed by this because I've asked 20 different veterans this question. I've gotten 20 different answers.
Yeah.
Your mindset, and the moment I'm talking about, where everything got really real, I guess to say. What's the mindset all of a sudden?
Getting home.
Yeah.
Getting home to your family, and taking care of your brothers and sisters that are in the battle with you. Always remaining vigilant, keeping your head on the swivel. When you're outside enemy lines, I always try to explain to people that, growing up in the inner city of Detroit is one thing, and people don't know what a thug is, until you get over there. A thug is someone that'll put on 4 pounds of C4 and strap it to their body and run into a crowd of people and say Ali Akbar and blow themselves up along with everybody else. When you witness something like that and see things of that nature, you have a total different mindset when you return home and try to reacclimate yourself to civilian society after being in a combat situation.
Well, I'm wondering, no disrespect to the Iraqi Army.
Absolutely.
But when you are on a ship that's well protected, are you really worried that they're going to, bomb your ship, or because you have so many protections and advanced technology?
Yeah. Well, the carrier is the mothership. When we say a battle group, there's 13 ships in the battle group, and the carrier is the mother ship. That means there's 2 frigates, 2 destroyers, 2 subs, 2 oilers, 2 submarines under the water that no one ever sees, because that's the most precious payload that we have is those jets and the people. We have the most people on a carrier, and we have the most firepower, which are those jets and helos and Black Hawks and things on the flight deck that are most powerful, because we can launch those while we're moving and recovering while we're moving. So everything out there in the water in the fleet is to protect the mothership with just a carrier.
All right, let me ask you this. Not that you would do this, but let's say you're floating up the Detroit River.
Okay.
How quickly could you destroy the whole city of Detroit with that one carrier, with all the
arsenal that's out there
you have on there?
Oh, we have the Sea Whiz within minutes.
Okay.
You see that's what I'm talking about, Terry. Like these are our people out there too. You see how matter of fact it is.
Right.
It's a job, man.
Absolutely.
Like you see that. That's what I love when I talk to everybody here, all the hometown heroes. Like that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's not fun and games out there, man. Like it's as real as it gets.
Speaking of not fun and games, here's what I don't understand.
Sure.
There could be ships deployed to Taiwan, and my question is, why do we have to be involved with Taiwan, with our ships and our men and women and everything? Why is that so important to us? Because that's way over there, and Taiwan used to be part of China. So
we have allies, and when things go down, just like 9/11 and things that, when we're attacked, we have friends. We have to have those allies out there. We have what they call the SOFA, or the Status of Forces Agreement, where we go over there and we're ambassadors to the United States. And when they call on us, we're there. That's what America is. We help our friends in time of need. They help us. So when we have a presence in every region that we need to have presence in, so we can get there fast. Especially if everything that's going on in Russia and the Mediterranean right now, we have a carrier presence over there, because when the carrier pulls into a region, butt cheeks pucker up, because they know that we're there when we mean business.
Absolutely. On our YouTube chat thread here, as we are talking to Chief Petty Officer Deshaun Wilson, Detroit native, out of Chadsey High School, played 4 years of college football for Ferris State as well. And we have a YouTube chat thread where everybody's kind of interacting as the show goes on. And lots of thanks to you, lots of thanks to your service and everything like that. Now, I singled this one out here. Jay Thomas says, right now, as I watch this show, I'm currently stationed in Fort Stewart, Georgia. Hashtag hoo-ah. You right now, having been through the battles and been through everything like that, a guy like Jay Thomas right now that's currently stationed in Fort Stewart,
right.
Maybe somebody that's watching that's just getting their military career going, what's the biggest piece of advice you have for them?
Stick with it. It's a beautiful organization. The benefits are unparalleled. For me, I'm a 100% disabled veteran. Joining, we're still the only 100% volunteer force, military force in the world, and for the less than 1% of the people that raise their right hand and join the military, if you stick with it and do the right thing and do right by the military, it's definitely going to do right by you. So if you're just now joining the military, every 4 years I was going to get out. I was like, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of this. But then when I look at the benefits that it afforded myself and my family, it's unparalleled. So just stick in there, and the camaraderie that you're going to gain, and the brothers and sisters that you're going to be in battle with, you'll grow to love them, and they'll become your family also. So just stick with it.
Yeah, we know it's a tough job and it's an important job, but is it any fun?
I could tell you some stories. But
okay, well,
I know we don't have enough time.
Story time with Deshaun. Right. Give us 2. We'll put a YouTube poll up and let them vote. No,
right.
No, I'm just kidding. We won't put you on the spot like that.
For an inner city kid from Detroit, I never thought that I would be able to travel the world. I never thought that I would be able to live in Japan. I never thought I would be able to, one of the only people on earth to climb Mount Fuji and look into the mouth of a live crater, a volcano. I've been to places that I can only, sometimes read about, or a lot of people read about, or they spend their life trying to save up to get there. And the Earth is 70% water, and the Navy, we're the largest and most powerful maritime force in the world. And we get there real quick, and they've taken us. And so we have a lot of fun. You got to think about this, and I'll make it short. You have a whole bunch of sailors, men and women on a ship, and we may be out there 6 months, 9 months. We don't spend a lot of money out there, so when we hit a port, we got
it's go
between
time.
18 and 22-year-olds. We're horny. They want to have fun. They want to get the drink on, and they want to just release because they know when we're out on the water, it's 24/7. We're out there, and we're making the machine run.
Well, United States Navy Chief Petty Officer Deshaun Wilson, as I think I speak for everyone, I say thank you for your service.
Thank
3
you.
Navy Commendation Medals, 5 Navy Marine Corps Service Medals, Combat Action Badges for both Iraq and Afghanistan. And I'll wrap it up with this because it is the last time, that we're doing the Hometowns Heroes this year until next
Yes, sir.
Lions football season. I'll say this, no matter what is going on with us as a people back here, and we're divided, obviously, as divided maybe as we've ever been, it seems like. The one thing that makes me feel good about what's going on are people, men and women like you that are standing there.
Thank you, sir.
You got our back, man. You got our 6. We appreciate it.
If I could take 1 second.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, when I retired, the philanthropy part for me was when I retired, I started my own business, Duke Investments and Associates, and my whole goal was to help veterans, homeless veterans, and their dependents. So what I did, I started my company, and in partnership with Container Homes USA, we provide housing for homeless veterans and their dependents. So we do that by converting shipping containers, modular homes, and we build those for veterans. So if you know anyone out there homeless or looking for shelter, looking for a home, give us a call. Our nonprofit is National Network Organization for Veterans. We're stationed out of Lansing, and we're currently building 5 container homes for veterans right now. So if, I don't know how it all works, but if you know any veterans that need help or home and their dependents, please contact me and let us know.
National Network Organization for Veterans.
Yes,
that is the spot to go to. Again, sir, appreciate your service.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, and appreciate you coming on Big D Energy.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Neil. Everybody. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Happy to have you along for the ride. Not quite as happy, though, as Sawyer when he pulls a PBR out of the mystery beer vending machine at Fulling Warehouse, right?
Oh, no, that's a top 10 happiest. Oh, man. And we got a special guest here today now, yeah.
I'm just checking in, boys. You know, had to come and say hi to the military, and this is, great job. And thanks to Ronnie Cyrus for allowing us at Big D Energy to facilitate and to meet all these great men and women.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, Fulling Warehouse is the place to be. If you're not doing anything this weekend, you got to get there.
Ronnie,
It's a great way to
brother.
pregame the nice Lions game we got going on this weekend as they take on the Pack. But
I'm waiting to hear back.
I mean, you can go in. They got 2 ways to play. Come in, pay $10. Got unlimited play. You can come in, rent a lane privately for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your corporate event you want to plan. So, I mean, like I said, 2 full bars. They have mystery beer machine. Got myself a PBR in Old Milwaukee. The 2 times I've rolled the dice on it. Can't go wrong. Braylon got himself a Colt 45. So, I mean, they just got a plethora of options in there. You can't go wrong. The game's fun. It was made in Indianapolis at the Indy 500. That's a special place to me. So, hopefully the Fulling Warehouse can be a special place to you guys, too. And just check them out at thefullingwarehouse.com or go to the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck. This is Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brady Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
It's all happening now.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. He's Terry Foster. We have Sam in the sound booth. We have Sawyer in the production booth. You saw D-Mac kind of pop his head in there. He's got a lot of business dealings going on during this week. That's why he hasn't. He's been in and out, so we'll say it like that. But happy to have everyone along for the ride. And you know what, real quick, too, like our audience here, everybody on the YouTube chat thread, everybody that's watching or listening to the show, the way you guys engage with this Hometown Hero thing every single week, and we tell these stories of how they come to be, and Terry, as he talked about, as Mr. Wilson talked about, a kid from the inner city of Detroit, serves his country for 20 years, had no idea, he could go see the world and everything like that. One of us, you know what I'm saying? Just another one of us that live in this community and those types of things. And the way that you guys engage and, the words. And I talked with Ronnie Cyrus, and a big thank you to Ronnie Cyrus, too, that D-Mac talked about. He's a military ambassador for the NFL. He coordinates the Hometown Heroes thing for the Detroit Lions. He's born and raised here in this area as well. The thing he always talks about is when these guys do this stuff, the messages that people send in, that's why I always make it a point to read a couple of them. The messages that come in where people talk about it, that's what they always walk away talking about to Ronnie, is that, man, I'm blown away by the people, the people and their words and things like that. And it's really cool, Terry. That is something we can debate the draft picks and the coaching decisions and stuff like that. But that is something they do as good as anybody in sports.
Yeah, it is. See, I'm glad my man had fun because, I'm thinking I'm stuck on a ship. I got a little bunk bed. Probably the guy next to me farts or something, and I can't sleep. But I'm glad that they are able to go to different countries, and he was able to climb or see Mount Fuji and stuff. So I'm glad there is some fun in this, too. I think that was important.
Yeah, and people still talk Lions, too. Don Rivera on a YouTube chat thread, build the Lions through the draft, hashtag Team Neil. For some reason, they're talking about Girl Scout cookies in there, and I don't know how that started. CJ Schneider said Samoas are goated. Samoas are the best, Terry. The best Girl Scout cookies.
I am a shortbread cookie guy.
Okay.
I love those because it's simple. It's not too sweet, but it's delicious. I'm not a Samoa guy.
Yeah.
That's the one with the coconut, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With the chocolate, little drizzle of chocolate.
That's good, but I'm simple with my Girl Scout cookies.
Sawyer, I got to go to you. I'm sure you're a resident expert of the Girl Scout cookie trade. What do you got?
Frozen Thin Mint cookie. That's the best.
What is he?
Thin mint, frozen thin mints.
Thin mints. That's like, you can't do that. That's like getting one of those little reds that put in your mouth just to make your breath smell good.
No, but the Girl Scout Thin Mint cookies are the best, though.
They're all
so
good frozen.
Yeah,
they're all good frozen. I don't care what kind they are. Jenna Newman says, Neil, my niece is selling them right now. That was a different time in my life where I would rack. I'd rack a Girl Scout cookie box.
Oh yeah, easy money.
A box, shoot, man. I used to hunt them down. If you don't have 3 boxes, you can't serve me because we get 3 boxes. I got to get 2 for me. Got to get 1 each for the kids. Got to get 1 for the wife. So that's 5 boxes. So we kill it.
Matt Carrier says Samoas are great frozen too. A lot of love for tagalongs also. The peanut butter and the tagalongs are fine.
I like the That's a good one.
The tagalongs are fine. AC says Sawyer is nasty.
Yeah,
I won't go that far.
Teach their own, man.
Yeah, I won't go that far. Sawyer's not nasty, and a Thin Mint, like I'll eat one of them, especially if they're frozen. They are better frozen than they are.
Yeah, just to get your fresh breath. That's all.
Absolutely. Lions hosting the Green Bay Packers. The line keeps climbing here at our Bookie Studios. Packers up to a 3.5-point favorite. What do you and Terry? Look, I know we'll spend some time talking about the Lions. Certainly, when the season's over, we've spent a ton of time talking about the Lions now and what they should do and how they should build it and all that kind of stuff. What about the Packers, Terry? This Packers team that's coming in here, for me, for my money, with Aaron Rodgers, with the Packers, they got to cash another one of these in, man.
And they do. Yeah, and they'll probably play Tampa, and I know you think Brady's going to win that, but yeah, there's the pressure. First of all, you got to build a team, and then it's got to be a good team, and then you got to get your 10 wins. Then you got to make the playoffs, and then at some point, you've got to win a championship or 2. And if you win a championship in 10 years ago, then you got to repeat it. You got to win another championship, particularly if you have the same quarterback.
Yeah, and for me, and I don't even necessarily know that. I mean, yeah, you got to get there, you got to win, but I would say here's what I'm looking for out of Rodgers and the Packers. You got to win this home playoff game, this NFC Championship at home. You got to win and get to the Super Bowl at a bare minimum to me. If they don't do that, if they choke again, Terry, I'm going to put, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to have to put.
Don't apologize. Put the damn blemish on him.
I am, man. I'm putting the blemish on Aaron
This man is making
and he's great.
$30 million a year. And you go, oh, I'm so sorry. I got to say something bad about you. Forget him.
No. Hey, because people are going to be, what are you talking about? He's one of the GOATs and all that kind of stuff.
He is, but you got to win titles.
And for me, he'll go into my Drew Brees category. Where is he good? Yes. Is he great? Yes, he's great, but he's less than. And the playoff performances matter. That's why Joe Montana is penciled in. Like I think most people have come to the realization that Tom Brady's the greatest or one of the top two or whatever. Why is Joe Montana valued so heavily? It's not because of video game regular season numbers. Why? Why is he valued?
He's a good-looking guy, and he won championships.
And he never lost games he wasn't supposed to win. At least I didn't think so.
It probably happened, but yeah, for the most part, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But see, when we talk about Tom Brady, does anybody mention his regular season success? No. In fact, the one blemish he has is when they finished unbeaten, they lost to the damn Giants that year. So that's like a blemish on his record because he is so great. We don't talk about, hey, you think New England's going to win 10 games this year? Who cares? Is New England going to win a championship when he was with New England? With Tampa Bay. Even though Tampa is a team we never thought about winning championships. John Gruden got the one. But now that Tom Brady's there, it's like, okay, are you going to win a title, Super Bowl, or not?
And I'm glad to see, too, people are agreeing a lot, actually. Alex Haggerty in our YouTube chat thread says the Packers need to win the Super Bowl. Otherwise, Rodgers is forever just a regular season quarterback. And it's getting to be that, man, especially when you have him at home. Here's the thing with Joe Montana. And again, here's why I associate it with Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. And we talked about this earlier this week. And this is why I put Ben Roethlisberger on Drew Brees' level, much to Sam's dismay over there in the audio booth. How many times are you going to be a 7, 8, 9-point favorite at home in the playoffs and lose outright? How many times are you going to do it? How many times until people are like, man, you ever going to break through and win one of these again? Like, you do it once, cool, you cashed in, you won a Super Bowl, but how many times can you lose those games,
Yeah, that's
Terry?
true. But then, in his defense, he did get fat. So when he got fat, that was basically
it was over.
it.
Yeah,
right.
It was over. And Ben Roethlisberger, too, will be one of those guys, I think. And we see a couple of guys like that in sports. Like, he plays... if he plays at 260 or 270, whatever it is, 250.
Or 310.
Like, if he plays at 250 or 260, whatever he plays at, the day after he retires, he'll be 305. Like, that next day, he'll be 305. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Because he's sluggish.
He is. But
I don't
want
want to call him fat, even though I did, but he's sluggish.
Sluggish is a good word.
Sluggish dude.
That's why I like to roll with you, too, T. Not just for the stories, because you're a wordsmith.
Just like he squeezes into his jeans.
Yeah, but the regular season quarterback stuff. I mean, that's where it is. CJ Schneider says Rodgers is a better comparison to Manning, and for me, I need you to settle this for me too, Terry. I know.
All right.
I know we're going.
Are we going Peyton Manning?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me tell you about Gypsy Vodka first. Let's pick this back up in a second. But I do need to tell you about Gypsy Vodka. 50 different formulas, countless taste tests, all that kind of stuff. The bottom line is what you see in front of you. I was rolling through the store on New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve. I'm gonna crack open a bottle, lift a toast. Said, hey, I'm gonna grab some Gypsy Vodka. I got the last one on the shelf. You know why? Because the bottom. I know a lot of you are into bottles, and the bottle's cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm more into what's inside the bottle. What's inside the bottle of Gypsy Vodka is really, really good tasting vodka. Hard stop. I don't know what else to tell you guys. If you like vodka, Gypsy Vodka should be in your rotation. The artesian spring water, gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times. That's cool. That's great. It's high-quality stuff. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes good. What else do you want from me, guys? I mean, I drink it. I like it. I think you would, too, if you drank it. So go to the store. Ask for it by name. And if they have it, they'll give it to you. It's Gypsy Vodka, Michigan's gluten-free vodka, made in Petoskey. Support local guys from the state of Michigan, too. If you, I think that checks all the boxes. It's made well. It's really good. It's local. Go to the store. Get yourself a bottle of Gypsy Vodka. As always, drink responsibly.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Terry Foster, Sawyer in the booth. Sam is in the bowl as well. Big hello to everybody listening on radio, 93.5 The Roar. Detroit's new all sports alternative, 94.7 HD2, 99.1 FM as well. But Lions are playing the Packers, and we'll talk about the Lions. And I don't think that there's a ton there as far as the Lions go. Next week, we'll kind of do our recap, and we'll assess the state of the franchise and all that kind of stuff. But it just got me to thinking about the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. And the line keeps continuing to climb. It sounds like Aaron Rodgers will play. It sounds like everybody will play because they have locked up the first-round bye, so they will have a home game. And I guess you would call it the NFL quarterfinals, I think is probably the best way to put it. So they will have a home game there. And for me, it's pretty simple. None of this matters for Aaron Rodgers until they play that conference championship game at home. He's got to get over this little hump he hasn't been able to get over as of late. And I'm talking about when you're 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-point favorite at home. You got to win these games, man, in the playoffs. You do. Clomp Sauce says Manning is in that boat too. Beat Rex Grossman and had his dead body drug across the finish line in 2015. And Clomp Sauce, look, anytime you make reference to Peyton Manning's dead body being drug across the goal line or the finish line, I'm going to read that comment. I'll stop what I'm doing and read that comment because I enjoy it. But T-Foss, what about that, man? Peyton Manning, for me, is in that Drew Brees boat because he just wasn't a primetime performer in the playoff. Now, Tom Brady had a lot to do with that, but he took a lot of L's in the playoffs, man.
But Tom Brady aside, even when he was playing against Tom Brady, he just looked bad. It didn't matter who the other quarterback was. And I'd see Peyton Manning play during the regular season. I said, you know what? The greatest of all time. This is the man. And then you go in the playoffs, it's like, what happened to this brother? I mean, he's missing receivers. He looks like Jared Goff in the playoffs. What the hell happened to this dude? So I don't know if it was a mental thing because it's got to be something there. Yeah. And I know the competition is stronger, but still, for your Peyton Manning, you should be carving up everybody.
No, he should be. Mr. Smokey Hog 777 says, I'm going to try this vodka. You should. Real talk. Again, when I sit up here, guys, I crack it open and I drink it and I like it. That's just what it is.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. You should try the Gypsy Vodka. Because of all the spirits, the crappiest ones are vodka. And if you get a good one, you should drink it. Right. It's like, okay, you can't mess with the whiskey. You can't mess with the scotch. You can't mess with the gin. But vodka, we'll just do whatever.
Randy Thing says, Rodgers a modern-day Marino. Quick release, only difference is Rodgers got 1, Marino got 0. And I don't know. Rampage says Terry is ruthless, by the way. Again, Terry, so you're in lockstep with me on this. I mean, for him to, if he wins another one, though, Terry, say he cashes it in this year and wins another one, his narrative is on the line this season, I think. I think his career narrative is on the line because we don't know what's going to happen. He's hinted at maybe he'll retire, maybe he won't, maybe he gets traded. I don't know. But if this is his last year and he doesn't get home, this season changes the narrative, I think, of how his career is viewed.
It does, but what the defenders or the supporters of Aaron Rodgers will say, well, he came through during the Tom Brady era. What was he supposed to do? How about this? At least look good in the playoffs when you're losing. And plus, Aaron Rodgers has an advantage that Joe Montana never had. He's got Green Bay. He's got the frozen tundra. You think a team from Tampa wants to go up to Green Bay and perform? No.
And they went up there and took his lunch money last year, man.
Right. It's like Bart Starr and when they played beat Dallas when it was 15 below 0. He wasn't a great quarterback, but he did what he had to do in that weather. He had the weather advantage, and he took advantage of it. And Aaron Rodgers should be doing the same thing.
He does. He's got to get home for me. He's got to get home with this.
One more time?
One more time.
You got to do it twice?
No, just one more time is cool.
Okay.
One more time is cool. You get a couple of them, especially if you go and you don't lose. And that's what I've learned, too, because I've always valued... See, in college basketball, Terry, I value getting to a Final Four. I do. But it's changed a little bit now, where... For NFL football, I would value winning a conference championship and getting to the Super Bowl. But society's changed, Terry. We're all or nothing now. Either you cash it in or you failed. And that's the way the narrative's changed.
All right, this time Izzo need to win another national championship.
If you want to be in the Coach K stratosphere, yeah. Right? Am I wrong with that?
No. You're absolutely right about that. But to be considered a great coach.
Great of all time.
One of the greatest.
Yeah.
You're not going to be Coach K. You're probably not going to be Dean Smith. But to be considered one of the greatest of all time, must he win a second national title?
If you want to be in that era, yes. You do, especially when you go to the Final Four that many times. You know what I'm saying? Right. And look, you can't question Tom Izzo's resume. You can't. Go to Breslin and look up. It's incredible. It is. But I'm talking about the greatest of the great. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
The greatest of the great. And that's where, you know, as you look at coaches, as you look at players and stuff like that, you separate them based on that. Multiples. That's just where we are. And that's not me making that up, man. That's the way we are as a society now. It's a big event society. It's a social media society, Terry. This kind of goes back to what I said about the Portland Trail Blazers and the attendance. And it's dipped because they don't win. And people have finally said, I'm not rooting for a loser organization. It's a bad reflection on me.
See, I think there's something else going on in Portland because Portland, they've had bad teams and they still showed up. Maybe they got tired of it. But, you know, once again, Portland treats that basketball team like a high school team. Like this, we love them, and I think they squeeze them a little bit too much. Maybe they get too tired of them
because they're not winning. Like they haven't, and they win. Like don't get me wrong, they win as a franchise. 50, as you talked about, 50 and 32 every year. Maybe they win a round in the playoffs. Maybe they don't. They always play Denver every first round and always go 7 games. And sometimes they win and sometimes they lose.
And they lose to the Lakers.
Yeah, they lose. As you said, they lose to the Lakers in 6. And
people are happy.
And people are happy because they got that game 6 at home. And it was a close game. And Dame had 48. But, man, the Lakers won by 2.
Right.
That's every NBA playoffs, man. That's how it works. Mike K, is Gypsy better than Ciroc? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's cheaper. I'm just telling you guys how I feel, man. I'm telling you guys my experiences. That's where
a lot of times you're paying for reputation.
Sure. And now look, it's funny because you talked about vodka, and you know, you guys know, like I stay away from the sugar and all that kind of stuff. So essentially, in my life, like I drink water, black coffee, and vodka or gin with club soda, and then I'll spin a bourbon like as a treat. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You know, I'll have 2 or 3 bourbons maybe on a Saturday night or whatever. If I'm, you know, I got nothing going on, no games to do, you know, I'll get it in that way. But that's what I drink, and yes, it's good, it's smooth, and all that. I initially got into gin, then I kind of transformed into the vodkas.
Okay, well, good for you.
Yeah, and Gypsy's good.
All right,
that's the moral of my story.
That's what the ladies usually do. You get that vodka for the ladies, and you're in for a treat.
David Mentier wants to know. Does Portland treat white girls as good as they do the Blazers? Let me get that updated right now.
Well, do white girls treat others as well as the fans treat the Blazers? And that answer would be yes.
And this is a good time to let you know on our YouTube poll going right now on our YouTube chat thread. Story time with T Flips is coming up towards the end of the show. Up for vote right now. The votes are pouring in. He has a white girls in Portland story, or he has a one-on-one with Chris Osgood after Osgood made a mistake that cost them a playoff series. Now, this was a one-on-one discussion he had that he will break down to you. White girls in Portland right now at 53% to 47% Osgood's one-on-one. But if we know anything about these polls, we know that they come right down to the end.
Oh, absolutely. And they can flip just like that.
Yep.
And also, when Sawyer likes what he sees on the pole, he'll shut it right off.
I've noticed that before.
You can shut it off, yeah.
He's got that quick trigger finger. Don't
you know
forget,
what he is? He's a pole thug.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget, too, the Sawyer's Motorsport Minute coming up a little bit later on in the show as well. Sawyer gets 60 seconds exactly. Sam's keeping him honest. He will shut his microphone off right when the 60 seconds is over. We've talked about it. You guys said, yeah, that's fine. We can tolerate about 60 seconds of motorsports. And Sawyer will deliver. And he's been crafting it, too. We had one episode last week, the first episode. He listened to your thoughts. He listened to your suggestions. He's got a little more visual element to it right now.
Oh, yeah.
Some footage and stuff like that. He's crafting it. I'm kind of excited to see. Because usually, Terry, don't you take the biggest leap from the first one to the second one?
Sure, that's the way it usually goes.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see where Sawyer rolls out with the motorsports.
I'm going to not challenge you, but ask you. My very first motorsports interview. I'm going to see if you've ever heard of this guy, Rick Mears.
Oh yeah, IndyCar driver and NASCAR driver. I believe.
Yeah, no, he IndyCar. And the thing that I noticed about him is the tip of his nose was burnt.
Okay.
I couldn't get through that. I'm interviewing this dude, and I keep looking at his nose. And, damn, his nose is burnt.
AC says, "Let Sawyer cook." We're finna 60 seconds. We're gonna let him roll. All motorsports.
You know what? Any other show would not allow Sawyer to do this. I'm glad we're open-minded to let him do this.
Terry, like I said, I enjoy Indy racing, and I like the Formula 1 as well. I'm not a NASCAR guy. I'll watch it. You know, if I got a couple bucks on it, I'll watch it because you are allowed to bet on motorsports racing in my world, so you are allowed to.
See, I got a friend in Florida. He is so sick. He is in NASCAR Fantasy League. And they, every time there is a race, they pick 3 drivers, and they get points based on their finish, and they go through the whole season.
Detroit Dabber 313. I can imagine a Rocky montage of Sawyer training and preparing to say everything in 60 seconds. Robert Colosia, our guy. Sawyer's Motorsports Minute will always be solid.
Oh, yeah. Me and Robert have been exchanging some Twitter DMs. We got something cooking for when D-Mac's back. We got something for D-Mac and Terry that they'll like.
When Sawyer becomes big, he's going to tell his grandchildren, yeah, you know what? I started doing this Motorsports Minute. That's how I got started.
People are asking for a Fish's soccer second. We could give him 1 second.
Yeah.
Ronaldo. Next week, Messi. That would be pretty good. Maybe we'll have to hook something like that up. So we will take a break. When we come back, we'll get into this for the Lions. I'll ask Terry if he's even going to watch this Lions game this week. Also spin that into maybe some national championship discussion. And don't forget, Big D Energy Pick'em. We got a lot to get to, man. We're pulling up on the second hour of the show. This is Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. You guys, man, in your motorsports. And that's on me. I left the gate open and didn't shut it behind me, Terry.
What's wrong? Now you getting a lot of motorsports
Oh, dude,
stuff?
yeah, they're firing it up, man.
There are lots of people that love it here. They're just closeted. It's kind of like they don't have a platform, so they stay in the background. They shut up. But when you give them an opportunity, like, yeah, motorsports, I love it.
They do, man. They get it in. What do we have here? We got Honolulu Blue Sparty says got to bring video with it this time, Sawyer. So there's There's a lot of moving elements to this. There is no question.
Oh, yeah.
Joey Two Time says, NASCAR is fun to watch if you're around people who watch NASCAR. I guess. I don't know. Robert, I'm in a big F1 fantasy. All right, we're moving on from that.
That's your fault.
Robert, love you. Obviously, you're a big fan of the show, big contributor to the show. Value your opinion on a ton of things, but I am drawing a hard line. And that's fair, Sawyer. F1 fantasy talk, you got to admit that's fair.
Yeah, I don't do any racing fantasy, so I haven't dabbled in that yet.
Even if you did, you still have to admit that's fair that we cut that off.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Again, I like to converse things out, Terry, because that's the kind of person I'm. You watching Lions-Packers this weekend?
I always watch the Lions. The Lions are the number one story in Detroit. Now, I'm going to spot watch it. I am in the middle of watching a Game of Thrones again. I'm doing a Game of Thrones rewatch. I might slide in an episode during the Lions game.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Obviously, I'm going to watch it too. I mean, that's part of the gig. I do have Oakland basketball on Sunday at 4. They're playing Milwaukee, Terry. Patrick Baldwin Jr., 5-star, blue chip. Say if he would have been able to declare for the draft, would have been a lottery pick. So I'm excited to see that.
So the Rise is getting a little talent.
Yeah, so he chose Milwaukee over Kansas and Michigan and Georgetown and all that stuff. So it'll be exciting to see. Well, his dad's a coach at Milwaukee. So, it'll be fun to see that, but I certainly will be.
I was, I don't know why I was doing this, but I was looking in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's got their own little arena there. Well,
yeah, you know what it is? It's the old Mecca.
Oh, is it? So that's a nice arena.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was nice at its time.
Right.
It's, so the Mecca was right next door to, what was the name of their arena before? They built a new arena. And then they built another, the Fiserv Forum,
right?
The latest one that they're in now. So
that's like 2 blocks away.
Yeah, they're literally right. Well, they were right next to each other. They knocked the middle arena down. We actually played in the NCAA tournament in that arena that they knocked down. I forget what the name of it was at the time, but yeah, that's they have a new arena now. But yeah, it's the old Mecca, and it is. I like it when we play there because it's cool to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool to be there.
Last time I was there in the Mecca was not for basketball. It was, I believe, it was Michigan was in the NCAA hockey Frozen Four.
Oh,
or maybe
did that
it was
there?
A regional. Yeah.
Okay.
Went there for that.
Absolutely. Now everyone's talking about Game of Thrones. We're not going there. That's another one where I draw the lines. And my wife, huge into Game of Thrones. I walked into the room one time. She was watching it. And I watched a girl that was riding a dragon. And I turned around and left.
You know what's surprising about Game of Thrones? Is
Bradley Center,
medieval times. Everybody's dirty and nasty and got mud all over them. You're stabbing people, but the women are beautiful. They're, you take your clothes off.
I did notice that,
and they're nice and clean and fresh. They look like something from the 2000s here.
I drew the line when somebody was riding on top of a dragon. I literally walked in the room, saw somebody riding a dragon. I said, "Yeah, this is not for me," and I turned around and walked out.
I tell you who's mean, that Queen Cersei. But she gives it up.
Are you guys going to go deep right now on Game of Thrones?
No.
Because if you are, I mean, I do kind of got to use the bathroom, so I'll step out and you guys can talk Game of Thrones for a few minutes. Or what?
No, all I wanted to tell you is that the Queen is fine. She's mean as hell, but she's kind of cute.
Mike says, drink one more Gypsy and you'll start seeing dragons and pink elephants, too. So, that's probably fair. CJ Snyder says, and their teeth are white, too.
Right. And they no, not everybody. Some people got some jacked up grills in there. But for the most part, yeah, they're nice and fresh. And then, you wake up in the middle of the battlefield and got fresh breath. That's amazing how that works.
Give me the 30,000 foot on. Can you do Game of Thrones? Explain it to me in 30 seconds.
Oh man, I haven't watched it in a while. But it's like just this world, it's like medieval world, and then there's a family that is like King of the Dragons, and there's another family, but then there's like zombies
2 or 3
coming.
families that hate each other.
Yeah,
and they're all building up for this big invasion from
like zombies, essentially.
The zombies that come through and.
Yeah, I don't know.
And at the end, Khaleesi just goes nuts and ruins the whole thing.
Sounds cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a good show all the way up to the last season, then they just ruined it.
Detroit Dabber 313 season 8 sucked.
Yep.
Was it season 8 was the last season? I take it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can you screw that series up?
I don't know. I mean, he hasn't even finished the books. Like that's one reason he hasn't finished like the Game of Thrones book series.
Oh yeah.
Like when they've shot the last season, he hadn't finished the last book, so they're like, oh, we'll just have to make it up or something. So it was just bad.
Yeah, sometimes you just run out of ideas.
Let's Go Bronco says, I side with Neil on this topic. Never could get into Game of Thrones. And I don't know. I liked Sopranos. I thought that was a very, very good show.
In fact, I got in trouble because of The Sopranos. The very last episode, they just black out.
Yeah.
My wife thought I did something to the TV, and she started yelling at me. What the hell did you do? I'm watching this, and I'm like, hey, girl, I didn't do anything. Because it was just, so you don't know if Tony was shot and killed or whatever. So it just, the screen went blank. And she just screamed at me. I said, I didn't do anything. Call your girls. And then she had to call people up. So that's the way it ended. So I thought my husband was clowning her. So
Man,
no.
you guys like you some Game of Thrones, man. Everyone's got a take on it. You guys are interesting today.
Game of Thrones
I'll
is
say
hot.
that. D.
Yeah, that was
Smitty.
like the show of the generation.
Yeah. D. Smitty, Dragons and Knights made me not get into Game of Thrones at first, but the storyline is the best. Robert says, best got moment when the imp threatened Cersei. Was it Cersei? And
Cersei.
Cersei. I know how the game is played. Alex says, Game of Thrones, lots of main characters die. Is that true, too?
Yeah, they just body people. They don't care if you're like the mainest of main character, like a small character. They'll kill you at any time and just change up the whole story.
Okay.
All right, I got a critical question. You fellas are young, and you guys, you like women?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
If you could have an evening with the big woman, would you take it?
Evening with the big
The
woman?
big woman is, what's her name? I forget her name, but is like...
Is that the blonde
But
queen?
Daenerys Targaryen?
No. She is a knight. And she kicks everybody's ass.
She plays Captain Phasma in the new
right.
Star Wars
She's the
movies.
big one's got real short hair.
Yeah,
Would you?
probably.
Okay.
All right. Lions Detroit 35F Game of Thrones. I need to see a picture. What do you got, Sam?
Oh, I was just going to say, the only woman I want to have an evening with is my fiance.
Oh, see, there you go.
Oh, that's sweet. I used to say stuff like that. I used to tell my wife, they could parade Janet Jackson or anybody through here. I'd pick you. And she used to believe me.
What do you got, Sawyer?
It's Brienne of Tarth.
Oh,
Terry
yeah,
Spencer
Brienne of
from
Tarth.
Woodward Bets just threw that in the YouTube channel.
We got a photo. I know that's kind of production on the fly. I'm kind of putting you on the spot there. So Sawyer will do it though. He's good in the pressure cooker. I'll have to see because I don't watch the show. I don't know. Like I said, I walked in the room and somebody's riding a dragon. I turned around and walked back out and
No,
turned the
for
red
real.
news back
She's like
on.
6'5" or 6'6". She's big.
Really?
She's not fat. She's just big. And she'll beat your ass with her sword too. Sword.
Oh man, you guys love it, man. Look at that, Terry. Am I missing? Now I'm starting to get a little bit of FOMO.
Maybe you should binge watch it.
There you go, Neil.
All right, what do we got? That's intimidating.
That's the big woman.
I mean, she'll kill you.
She looks like it
Cut
too.
you up.
Yeah. Sawyer, like you're a big guy, stronger dude. She'd take you out in about 40 seconds, bro.
Oh yeah, she'd just take care of me real easy. I don't even.
You would put up little resistance.
Very little.
And plus, you look like a little puppy next to her, because that's a big woman for real.
Mm-hmm.
I read a story on her. She's like 6'6", but a solid 6'6".
I really feel like we're losing control of the show right now. AC says she's built like Bill Lambier.
You know what? She's better built than Bill Lambier. Bill Lambier had little, he had bird legs, and he had hubcaps for knees.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen her knees because she wears armor.
Thank God it's time for a break. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the break. We're gonna reboot. Okay? We're gonna reset. We're gonna get this thing back on the rails. I want to talk Lions Packers. I did. But everybody here wants to talk about Girl Scout cookies and then Game of Thrones and stuff like that.
It shows how irrelevant the Lions are.
Well, which I get and I respect. You guys like what you like. I want everyone to like what they like. I want them to be happy, mainly because I'm lazy. And when people are happy, they tend to leave you alone and go about their business and do what they're supposed to do. I mean, it's not about them, Terry. I guess in when you circle life,
you know
it's
what
about
this
me.
part of the season is for the Lions? It's apple orchard time. But the orchards are closed now because it's too damn cold. But up until December, it's like, okay, I'll watch a half of the Lions, then I'm going to the apple orchard.
Yeah, there you have that. But, hey, if you are going down for the last Lions game of the season, Lions-Packers, you can win front row tickets at our pregame show live from the Tin Roof Detroit, brought to you by Woodward Sports and Jose Cuervo. Follow Woodward Sports on Twitter for a chance to win. If you're going to be going down there, get upgraded. Get you a chance to get upgraded. Braylon Edwards, Ryan Armani, Maz, and my girl Jade from WRIF will be simulcasting on Woodward Sports and 101.1 The Riff as well. Always a good time with the pregame show. The drinks are flowing. Tin Roof's a great spot right there, just a couple of touchdown passes away from Ford Field. Then when you're walking out of Ford Field, got you covered on the postgame as well. Stick and Anson. And Stick, he's always rooting for the Lions to win and stuff like that, which that's fine. They can win this weekend, provided the Colts take care of business. But Stick and Ansel start broadcasting at the 2-minute warning of the game on Sunday, and that's brought to you by Jim Beam and Woodward Sports. They'll have a DJ, drinks, Woodward Sports VIP section. There's food and more. Stop by after every Lions game at the Brass Rail Detroit. It's a final ride for the season, everyone. Go check out Woodward Sports in downtown Detroit.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Start your new year with a new network. Woodward Sports Network is here.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. He's Terry Foster. Sam is in the sound booth. Sawyer's in the production booth. Happy you all are with us. And Stephen Baffy says, WTF happened while I had the show on mute? Girl Scout cookies. No, it got like that. Tammy Chin says, I'm just sitting in the corner waiting to talk hockey. Tammy, they got to play hockey. They got to play in order for us to talk about it. I can only go over the financials so often. But they got a couple of games this weekend. We'll certainly touch on it.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll touch on it on Monday. Maybe.
I watched hockey last night. Bruins and Minnesota. It was good. Good game. Nice action.
Did you? I actually found myself watching.
2 fights.
I watched the Panthers and the Stars, ironically enough.
Okay.
It's an entertaining game. Lots of goals. That's up my angle. I do enjoy overtime hockey's electric. It is electric, man.
Overtime hockey in the playoffs is electric.
See, it's good. Obviously, it's a lot better when it's a series clinching game or whatever. But 3-on-3 is electric, Terry.
But the problem is, I don't care who wins. During the playoffs, I have a little bit of a vested interest in one team over the other, so that makes it that much better.
I understand that, but I like skill guys with the puck in space. I've always said that I thought NHL hockey would be so much better if there were 4 guys out on the ice instead of 5.
Or they made the rink bigger, like they do in Europe.
I've always said, too, that's been my big thing, and this is from when I was a little kid, when I used to watch a ton of hockey in the early 90s. Go to the international ice. What are we doing out here? Guys are bigger, faster, stronger than they've ever been. Go to the international ice, because I love Olympic hockey.
I do too, but then they'd have to refigure. I've been told you have to refigure their arenas, and it costs too much money.
Stop.
All this crap. I'm just telling you what the hockey league
We
tell me.
lose 2 front rows of seats, then you just charge more for the other ones. How hard is that, guys? Cost average it out, raise the price of the tickets, and say, hey, we're making the game better. You're going to like it even more. We're raising the price of tickets. We're going to the international ice.
All right, so I didn't know that there was bigger rinks international. Could you please break that down for me? Like, how much bigger is it
I don't know. I
NHL
don't know
rings.
the exact specifics.
But it is pretty significant.
Yeah, it is big though, and I do really, really like Olympic hockey, and for all the reasons I've stated before, where I like watching Russia play Kazakhstan when Russia wins 8-1, and they're out there and they'll try all the stuff they would never try in a regular game, like lifting the puck over the net on a pass or behind the back passes or going between people's legs.
It's like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, absolutely, that's what it is. And AC says hockey's boring. Kids want to watch soccer, football, and basketball. Hockey has no global stars. And AC, the NHL is to blame for that, Terry. And you know this.
No, I don't.
No, you know this.
Explain to me how hockey is boring.
What league
compared
does
to
the
soccer?
best at promoting their stars?
NBA.
Bottom line,
no
hands
question.
down. They have a lot of international players, don't they?
Yes, and here's what hockey does. They don't give their stars the benefit of the doubt during the playoffs. They're like anybody else. In NBA, it's like if you Michael Jordan and LeBron James, yeah, you're going to get the call because people want to see them play. They don't want to see them foul out or something like that. Hockey, they allow you to maul the stars in the playoffs, which I think is ridiculous.
MD Hill is our de facto research department. Says Olympic ice sheet is 200 by 100. North American standards 200 by 85. So that's 15% more, even more than 15% more wide, in terms of width. So imagine Connor McDavid with a 15% wider surface to be able to navigate in. How much fun would that be? Electric.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, the teams back in the day, like the New Jersey Devils, couldn't lock down neutral ice and everything. It would be almost impossible to do that. And they beat you by what they did at the blue line.
Yeah. Well, and here's the deal. Tammy Chin says that there are global stars. 100% there's global stars. But the NBA, for whatever reason, and I don't know, people have always said because of the helmets or the face masks or things like that, the NHL, for whatever reason, has been so poor at promoting their stars, to where the NBA is incredible at it.
True. However, you get the old curmudgeon. I don't like it when they say it's LeBron James and the L.A. Lakers. I don't like it when they say it's Dwayne Wade in the Miami Heat. Some people fight that. They don't like individualism. But, but the NBA is always about promoting that star and the team is second.
Right. Robert says best part of playoff hockey's home ice advantage doesn't really exist like it does in other sports. And that's part of it, Terry. Like when you talked about the stars don't get the calls in the playoffs, that feeds into that too, where there is no home ice advantage, to where in basketball in the NBA, home court's everything.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's louder. In the NHL, I think you have the glass around. I think that affects because you don't get that pit environment where people are hanging on you and screaming in your face and everything. You can hear people, but not like in the NBA. Because people, before we had the malice at the palace, they said fans were too close.
Stephen Baffy says it's Bettman that did that to the NHL. I'm surprised, actually. I think the over hit on the Gary Bettman, time to bring up Gary Bettman. I think the over actually hit.
Gary Bettman's a goof.
He is a goof, no doubt about that. He did that to the NHL with his love affair for Sid the Kid. Guys, we got to get over this whole Sidney Crosby thing.
Why?
Because the dude won a Game 7 in Joe Louis Arena, then won an Olympic. He's a good player. Can we agree he's a good player?
He's a good player.
Like, you can hate him. That's fine. Like, I've come full circle with Larry Bird. If I did that with Larry Bird, I think you can do that with Sidney Crosby.
Let me tell you a little story, brother. The Wings were winning in the midst of winning their cups. Pittsburgh hadn't won one yet. So I'm in New York for whatever reason. I go to the NHL shop. Pittsburgh Penguin stuff is all over the place. And then in the back corner, you see a little bit of red. They're already promoting him before he won his first cup, before he became great. They knew he was going to be the next great thing, but they're already promoting him over the Wings. So I had a problem with that. And when you
did he turn out to be great?
Yeah, but he wasn't great yet.
But Terry, it's funny because we're clowning them for not doing it, but that example of them doing it, and we're clowning them.
All right, I'll tell you another story. Wings win I think it was Philadelphia. So they're at Joe Louis Arena. They had clinched one of the cups, and so I went down early from the press box to get my sound or whatever after the game, and I just so happened to be standing next to Gary Bettman before he went out to present the cup to everybody. So I asked him. I was just talking to him. I said, because at the time, when you go on the road with the Wings, there's Wing fans all over the place. In San Jose and L.A. and all. I mean, if it wasn't for Wing fans, a lot of those arenas would not be sold out. And so I just mentioned to Gary Bettman, the way the league is and the way that the Wings fans travel and are so passionate about this, wouldn't it be good for the league if the Wings became a dynasty? Neil, I'm telling you, this dude looked at me like I had gas. He turned his nose up, and he didn't really say much, but I could tell then he looked like I had gas. And maybe I did, but you didn't have to look at me like that. I was trying to promote the local team.
It was a long night the night before, Terry, I'm sure.
I guess so, but he wanted no part of that.
Robert says, I got a soccer second, sports biz second for you. Real Salt Lake, the MLS team, just got sold for $400 million. WTF. We're now in investment speculation territory because you can't sell that many tickets, nor recoup those costs from television. There is a very big bubble in MLS franchise valuations right now. Very, very big bubble. This is dorky right now, and this is probably broadcasting for two. But that is the case. There is a very, very big bubble. I think, Terry, there's even a bubble in regular sports valuations too, Terry. I mean, just
do they make money, or do they make their money just with the team appreciating? Because you can't sell that many tickets,
right? And you can't sell that many jerseys, and
you don't have
the TV deal.
TV
is not
deal right.
It's not a massive television deal. It's enough to survive and deliver your product. Because that's really the two camps with broadcasting of sports. Number one, deliver your product to the masses. That's the main goal, right? And then there's the NBAs, the NFLs, and everything, where it is a serious stream of revenue. Like you count on it for a stream of revenue. So yeah, I mean, I think. But do you honestly think the Red Wings are worth almost $1 billion?
No,
I don't think so either.
No, and this is hockey town, but you can only get so many people. And you know what? A lot of NHL arenas do not sell out. The TV deal is not great. So, but maybe it's more the prestige and you're trying to get that next sucker to buy the team.
Yeah, because I don't get it. And here's something, too. When Oakland played Michigan State, December 21st or whatever it was, about a month ago, that was the largest crowd post-pandemic in Little Caesars Arena post-pandemic history.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger than any Red Wings game, bigger than any Pistons game. So like when I see the Red Wings are valued at $1 billion with a B, or not, what was it, 980 million, whatever. We'll round up and call it $1 billion. Robert brings up a good point. These sports franchises are in a bubble right now, value wise.
But it's cool to own the team. I think that's the main thing like this. And you have people who are very rich fans who are buying these teams, and they don't think about the bottom line. Like if this was a toilet paper company, they wouldn't buy it.
Right.
Even if they were earning the same money, they just would not do it because it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be cool to own.
Yeah. AC says, does hockey have a Cristiano Ronaldo? Yes. Connor McDavid. The problem is he's with the Edmonton Oilers. And I would contend, and this is going to be blasphemous to say, Terry, but it's true, and I'll sit down and debate anybody that wants to, go and recreate all the contracts. Problem for the Oilers right now, Kenny Holland's GM. And we can just pull up the track record of Kenny Holland in a salary cap era. This the $30 million contracts to Franz Nielsen and stuff like that Yzerman's still just recently finished digging his way out of. That's a problem for Edmonton, number one. Number two, he's in Edmonton. And I've contended this. You guys have heard me say this before. Connor McDavid is the best athlete in North American sports in relation to the number two in his sport. He's the best player in the NHL. The gap between him and Louis Draisaitl or Nikita Kucherov or whoever you think is the second best player in hockey, the gap between Connor McDavid and the second best player in the NHL is greater than the gap between any other number one player in any North American sport and the number two player in that sport. He's incredible.
He is. And to your point, have you ever heard of a guy named Wayne Gretzky?
Yes.
You know what they did with him? They
traded him to L.A.
No, they didn't trade him. They kidnapped him in the dark of night, blindfolded him, bounded him, and then traded him to L.A.
Right.
Because it was like, okay.
And what happened when he went to L.A.?
He blew up.
He blew up.
Right.
He was responsible for every hockey team that's in a warm weather community right now.
We've got this great commodity, and he's stuck in Edmonton. We got to get him out of here.
Yep. George Ribbo says, yes, Holland is messing with the Oilers right now. He is. And, the Duncan Keiths and the big... But that's a show for when I go on Edmonton radio or whatever. I can break that down. It's just not going to end well.
Now, have you gone in Edmonton radio on Dog Ken Holland?
No. I haven't been asked to.
I'm just saying.
When we sat down, though, and I did this show with Darren McCarty, I've always said that. And you know how I roll, Terry. I apologize first, and then I go into it.
Right.
And I told Darren this. I said, look, man, with all due respect, and I understand that, he gave you your contract and everything like that, but with all due respect, man, he gave out a lot of bad contracts, and that's why this franchise is the way that it is. And when you go back to it, the day the music died was when he did the Marian Hossa versus Franzen thing. When he chose Franzen, it was a wrap.
Right.
And then he kind of threw good money after bad after that, all the way up to Franz Nielsen's contract. With all due respect to Franz Nielsen, it's a bad contract. Can't argue it.
So have you ever gotten in trouble on opposing radio?
What do you mean?
Out-of-town radio, you said something that pissed them all off?
No, just Michigan State fans didn't like me when I did the Oakland game.
Why not?
They couldn't understand the fact that I'm employed by Oakland, that Oakland had the rights to the broadcast, that it was an Oakland broadcast.
See, sports fans should understand that because, I understand they want to hear about their team, but, you got the little grizzly bear on your thing. It's not a Spartan.
You know where else I have the little grizzly bear? On my check.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way all that works, everybody. They could understand that little old Oakland, could have a television deal and a top 15 media market on network television. They couldn't wrap their head around that.
That
it wasn't Big Ten Network.
Well, when you get your check, they just sign like Grizz?
Yeah, there's a big paw print on there in ink. I don't care what's on there. As long as I get a notification from the bank that it cleared, that's really all that matters to me. I'll tell you what else matters to me. Simplicity, folks. I like things to be easy. If there's one thing you know about me, I'm lazy. That's just the way that it is. So I like things to be simple. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men fits that description. I like things uncomplicated. I walk in, sign in, sit down, boom, hair's cut. They don't tell me to come back at 4. They don't tell me, we'll get with you in 55 minutes. There's none of that. It's very, very easy. You walk into Lady Jane's, and they're all over the place. You guys know that they're all over the place. They're open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's easy, guys. That's it. And it's wicked awesome.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brady Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, coming down the stretch here on a Friday. Stephen Baffey says, before the salary cap, the Red Wings were the Yankees of the NHL. They bought all the good veteran free agents and bought the championships to regularly top the NHL in how much they spent. Yeah, and they did all the trades and everything like that. They did all that. And once it flipped to a salary cap era, Ken Holland struggled, man. I don't know how else to say it, Terry. Am I crazy when I say that?
No, but I think he was caught in a situation where he wanted to reward people within his organization. And
so you can't do that in the salary cap era.
You cannot do that, but I think that's what he tried to do, and it blew up in his face.
Yeah. Mickey Lum Phelps, maybe Michigan State should hire Neil when Will Tiemann retires. Huh?
I'd be for that, because their broadcast is weak. They should.
We would have some fun. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that, man. We would have some fun. AC says, I've never watched hockey. I'll give it a try. And someone was critical of the ESPN Plus thing. See, I'm the opposite on that. And I know that we're still in kind of a sweet spot with it, that it's going to continue to escalate. But Terry, ESPN, if I could only have one streaming service, I would pay my $7 a month for ESPN Plus. You get every NHL game, every single game. You remember the NHL Center Ice package? That's the ESPN Plus now. So for less than you would pay for that for a year, you could buy a year of ESPN Plus. Get every NHL game, get crazy amounts of college football game, get crazy amount. You get every MLS game too. It's kind of like the package for that if you do soccer. I don't know. They carry international soccer, all that stuff. There's always a game on. For Detroit City FC fans, that's the way it's going to go as well as they move into the USL this year. Their games will be on ESPN Plus also. It's the best $7 a month you'll spend. And that's not a commercial.
I was going to ask, is that a commercial?
Yeah,
or is this from the heart?
Oakland, tonight's Oakland game, we were supposed to play Green Bay. Green Bay has COVID cases, so we had to reschedule an NAIA school because we need to play the game. Can't be off for a week. So that'll be available on ESPN Plus. Sunday's game against Milwaukee, ESPN Plus. There's always a game on, Terry. That's the moral of the story.
Okay.
And I don't do shows. As I told you guys, I don't watch people ride around on dragons. I'm not criticizing you if you do. That you do you. That's not my thing.
You're kind of making fun of us, but that's okay.
No, I'm not. Sawyer, you're an independent arbitrator. Am I making fun of you for watching Game of Thrones when I say that?
You're not making fun. You're kind of like poking fun, though. It's just like friends messing around.
Poking fun, yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm saying
people. I don't watch people ride on dragons, but if you do that,
but the way he says it. If you want to watch people ride on dragons, that's fine. His nose is going up like this. You're snooty. You're being a snoot.
How was mine? The following is a statement of fact. I, Neil Rule, do not enjoy watching people ride around on dragons. It's not my thing. If you enjoy that, good for you. Crack open a bottle of Gypsy Vodka and pour yourself one and watch it.
See, he doesn't even get it.
If that makes you happy.
It's not what you're saying. It's the way you're saying it.
I don't know. This is how I talk, Terry.
No. You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm a rube from Kentucky.
Why?
Because of the way you're talking.
It's not my thing, Terry. If it's your thing, good for you.
You're talking down to us.
I am not talking down. It takes a lot. The world goes around. It takes a lot to make the world go around. Do whatever makes you happy. As long as it's within the confines of the law, you're not bothering somebody else. That's it. Do whatever makes you happy.
If you talk like this, say, AT, if you like women riding dragons, okay, that's fine. Do you. But you're like, if you like women riding dragons, do your thing.
It's not for me.
You're being a snoot.
That doesn't make me better than you because you like watching people ride dragons. That doesn't make me better than you.
You just did it again. You feel like you're better than me. You just did it again, and you don't get it. That's the funny part. You don't get that you're a snoot, and you're talking down to me, and you don't respect me.
Guys. Wait until Neil finds out there's a Game of Thrones Settlers of Catan. Is that true? Is there one?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Of course there is. Of course. AC, Neil sneak dissing Game of Thrones. No.
AC says Neil thinks we're inbreds.
This show is more political than dragons. I'm with T-Foss on this. Terry.
The amazing thing, I like how Neil insults us, and he really doesn't get it. He's like, I just don't know. Why are you upset? You really don't get it. It's your tone.
See, Tammy Chin, I agree with Neil. I'm not a dragon fan. Jake really likes T-Foss's Neil voice. Tammy, I'm not.
You're cute.
In
You're
no
really
way
cute.
do I believe that it's a negative reflection upon you as a person or you as a human being if you enjoy watching shows where people ride dragons. With that being said, it's not my thing. I, Neil Rule, being of sound mind and body, just don't get into people riding dragons. But if you do, good for you.
Brother.
I want you to be happy in your life, and I want you to do the things that you enjoy.
There's like 100 episodes. My girl rides a dragon in like 4 of them. But that's all
That's
you can get through.
4% of the episodes.
That's nothing. Yeah, the same winning percentage as the Detroit Lions.
Matt Carrier, T-Foss has Rule flustered. Machiavelli sucks to go. Neil is a good guy, LOL. Miki says Neil's kids will love Game of Thrones once they're old enough to watch it. And David likes the radio voice.
I think the cute thing about Neil is he really doesn't know what he's doing wrong. He just doesn't know. And that's that goofy innocence that I like.
All right, fair enough, T-Foss. I don't know what else I can say. It's not my thing. If it's
you know
your
you
thing.
remind me of sometimes?
Who's that?
Gomer Pyle.
Gomer Pyle, okay.
Golly.
Shucks, Terry.
Did I insult you? I didn't mean to.
Shucks, Terry. If you like people riding dragons, well, good for you.
Okay.
Update on the poll as we're coming down the stretch. We're just about 15 minutes away from story time with T-Foss. White girls in Portland story, 51% of the vote.
Damn, that's close.
Chris Osgood's one-on-one with Terry Foster after he made a mistake in a playoff game that cost them the series. This is something you've never heard before with Chris Osgood that Terry Foster is promising to deliver. So that's where we're at.
Say, like Florida, man. 51-49.
Yep.
Every election.
Every election. Easy says, Neil and T-Foss is a food combo. Steve Brown, my wife called it porn, but Game of Thrones was so much more than that. It was so good, except season 7 and 8. Can you confirm?
8 just went off the rails. I was mortified.
All right. And if that's your thing, Terry,
there he goes again. There you go again.
I did that one on purpose. I'm not going to lie. If that's good enough for you people, then good. Then do what you want to do.
Okay.
What if I said you people? If you Game of Thrones people out there, would that be more malicious?
Yeah.
It would be.
Black people don't like when you say you people.
That's true.
It has not been a positive experience over life.
It has not. It has not. But get your votes in on the YouTube chat thread. We're gonna do that. I wanted to get to this, but I think we'll do the poll for another minute. And when we go to the break, Sawyer, I want you to cut off the poll. And then when we come back, we'll do story time with Terry Foster. Is that fair?
I like it.
So This is kind of like your last second rush to get to it. And oh, by the way, the little Twitter poll I did yesterday on my Twitter account, 50-50 it ended up. People would pay $75 to go to the Sunday Night Football game.
And you know what that proves? People in Detroit are stupid. There are a lot of dumbasses in this town.
Oh, but I'm the bad guy, and I talk down to people.
You know what? I admit to it.
Yeah, I talk down to people because I say if riding dragons, people on dragons is your thing.
Come back and
Terry
say,
looks in the camera and said, "People in Detroit are stupid."
You're dumbasses, but I own it. I am bad. Neil's like, "Oh, I'm not bad. Oh, I'm a good guy." Ooh.
We should go have a drink after the show, Terry.
We should. You know what I don't like about this place?
What's that?
People don't go drinking after. In newspaper, radio, when I was covering games, it was always, well, you want to have a beer? Yeah, cool. But people here don't drink.
We got to fix that, man. That's a time slot. Like, I got to go get my son from school and stuff like that. It's
even
a bad time slot.
I was here later. I was here like at 5 o'clock on a Friday, and everybody just goes home. Or they're still working.
Oh, no, I would have definitely got that in. Real quick, you guys got to speak now or forever hold your peace. 51-49, White Girls in Portland with the lead. We're going to shut it down in about 30 seconds. So if you haven't voted yet, go over there and vote.
Hustle up.
It's getting down to it.
How many votes are we getting?
142 votes right now.
All right, that's a good amount.
People are showing out.
They are. It's not moving right now, though. The more votes are coming in, but the numbers aren't moving. It's a split crowd, man.
Yeah.
It's a split crowd. Got about 20 seconds here. I'll just remind you here. When I'm done with this read, we'll end it right there. Follow Woodward Sports on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch. Don't forget about the Big D Energy podcast on the Apple iTunes Store, the Google Play Store, as well, wherever you guys get your podcast. Click subscribe. Latest episodes of Big D Energy go right to your phone. If you're lazy like me, it's perfect. Rewind, fast forward, skip parts where we talk about Game of Thrones. Unless you enjoy Game of Thrones, then I encourage you to listen to it. Whatever makes you happy. That's what I want you to do. As long as it's Big D Energy that you're listening to. Over 21 million views on YouTube last year on our YouTube channel. So think about that, folks. We are here. And to quote Ric Flair, we are here and we're at your doorstep, everyone, here in Detroit Sports Media. Final 2 seconds of the poll. Sawyer, shut it down. When we come back, story time with Terry Foster. Probably going to be about white girls in Portland. We'll see. It's Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
Well, that's not winning, Joy.
It's Woodward Sports.
Coming down the stretch here on a Friday, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. Terry Foster, Detroit Sports Media icon here as well. We got Sam in the sound booth. We got Sawyer in the production booth. You in with me Monday, T-Foss? Is that the word? Usually,
yes.
Right? Okay.
I'm scheduled to be here Monday.
Scheduled.
Why wouldn't I be?
Yeah, that's right. It's a Monday.
Right.
That's how we operate. No, I love doing the show with you, man. It is a lot of fun on the YouTube chat thread. Mike says, T-Foss, Neil, Gypsy Martinis, downtown Birmingham. Lots of libations down there. There are some good spots here. I bet you're a legend down here.
No, I actually am not. I don't come to Birmingham that much for social stuff.
No? Where do you hang out at, T-Foss?
Technically, I like going downtown a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
I have my little spots down there, and I'm discovering spots all the time downtown Detroit. Sometimes Royal Oak. I have Sachet downriver now and then.
That's
but
a
not
long,
much.
That's a long
it's
Uber
a long
ride
haul,
home, though.
And it's a long haul coming back too.
Even
but
longer.
I haven't done that in a couple of years though.
Yeah, that was pre-pandemic. AC, I love the show because how off topic it gets. Lions talk gets boring eventually, and we'll get it. We'll do the deep dive on the Lions next week, and we'll kind of break down the season and all that stuff. And you know, on Fridays I do like to do this, man. And if something's cool and it's cooking, I'll stay with it. And if it's not, then we'll talk about baseball cards or something. Like we couldn't get to the baseball cards today. Maybe we'll do that next week, man. The show gets too hot, Sawyer. What do you want from me, man?
Oh yeah,
I want to do what people want to do, even if they want to talk about people riding on dragons. That's great by me, Terry, because I'm understanding. Anyway, we do have a final tally on the story time with Uncle Terry poll. White girls in Portland able to hold on at the end, 51-49. So, wow. Terry, the stage is yours. Tell us about white girls in Portland.
All right, white girls in Portland. You remember I was covering the NBA Finals. Michael Jordan against the Portland Trailblazers when he did the shot and he switches his hand. The first two games were in Chicago, and I was trying to holler at this woman that I liked that worked in the NBA offices. So I'm trying to schmooze her and want to take her to dinner. I'm trying to get with the girl. So then one of my friends was like, "Forget that chick, dude. We're about to go to Portland." I said, "Why?" He says, "We're going to Portland." He says, "White girls in Portland love brothers. You're going to have such a good time. You're not even going to remember this woman." So I'm like, all right, cool. So, we go through the first two games and we go to Portland. And then I had dinner that night. I think it was Mike Wilbon. You ever hear of him?
I'm familiar with his work, yes.
Boudini Sharp and a guy named Brian Burwell who worked at the Detroit News. So we had dinner. And so maybe had a couple of drinks. So then we go back to the hotel bar. And there had to be 400 or 500 white girls in the bar. And they were looking good too. And so all of a sudden, we started pairing up. And I had a girlfriend for the weekend.
In Portland.
Who happened to be white. And so then every brother who was covering the NBA ended up pairing up with a woman that weekend. So then my friends, I told you, forget Ellen, because we're in Portland. White girls love brothers in Portland. So I'm with this girl, and so we're kind of talking and stuff, and it was a lot easier than it was with my girl from the NBA offices. So then, here's what I thought was going to be the deal breaker. She claimed she wanted to go home to get clothes. So then I'm thinking, all right, this chick's about to, ditch me.
Ghost you. Yeah.
Ghost me. I was like, all right. But, we had one evening together. That was cool. I wasn't expecting the whole weekend. So her sister was part of the entourage, and she was with another guy that I knew. So she calls her sister, can she borrow the car? And she said yes. So I'm figuring this is the last time I'll see her. So she leaves it was like 11 at night. 2 o'clock in the morning is a tap on the door. It's my girl. She came back. She said, I told you I'm spending the weekend with you. I keep my word. So we had fun that whole weekend. And but every black dude that covered the NBA would tell you Portland is the spot. It's a spot. So,
and it ended like that.
It ended like that. Yeah, we had fun. She was there for the whole weekend, and then I was a little bit sad because we had to leave on Monday, I think, and I had a good time.
You know what I love about the story time? Obviously, the story content's great. Certainly it is. And T. Foss, is that guy. Million stories. I love, and you've noticed a theme with Terry's stories where there's a crescendo. You can feel it. You can feel it coming up to the crescendo. And every time the story gets to the crescendo, I look over at Sawyer. And Sawyer's behind the computer screen. And it's like, I see him like this, right? And all I see is his eyes, and he's like, that's what I see every single time with Sawyer, dude. He's doing it right now, as a matter of fact. I love it. That's what I love about it. I love the story time. It is. It's incredible. It's incredible. Skipper Sone says we should have had the Ozzy story. Well, it's will of the people, Terry. That's what the people voted for.
Hey, sometimes you don't like the president that's elected, but you got to deal with him for 4 years.
Joey 2 times. Terry hooked up with a chick in Portland. That's the story. Stephen Baffy says, so if my wife divorces me, get a tan and go on in Portland. Okay.
True, you should. I'm serious.
Portland is a great town for people that haven't been there before.
It's a lot of fun. We always stayed at that Marriott that was right on the river.
Yeah. Mike Sawyer's drooling, going, yeah. Some people liked it. Some people didn't like it, Terry. There's some people wanted more.
I know. I can't tell you everything. I have to have some privacy in my life.
Remember, the show's on radio, too, folks.
That's true.
The show's on radio on 93.5 The Roar. We do have... There are more... I don't want to say limitations. There are more guidelines. I think guidelines is a fair word to use.
I tell you what, if I run into you, let's say, at the club or something like that, I'll tell you the X-rated version of it.
That's fair.
Or R-rated.
Yeah, when people are out. Steve says, I voted for Ozzy. We can't control what other people do.
Too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
Should have voted a second or third time.
You up for another story time poll on Monday?
Sure.
Maybe we can put the Osgood story in as one of them.
Maybe we could.
And you have... I think that'll be the format going forward, I think. What's that?
I said we could do the two losers. We could do the Super Bowl sex time versus...
The last
Super
loser.
Bowl
the
sex
Super Bowl.
time.
Oh, yes.
So we can do Super Bowl and Osgood.
And see who wins?
Yeah.
Almost like a perpetual tournament. I like it.
Yeah, and then we can just kind of keep that going each time.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
AC wants to know, did she smell bad, Terry?
No, she smelled good. She smelled real good. She was a little girl. She's a little thing too.
Canuck Duke says you can only say so much on radio, and that's the point. That's the point. Tammy Chin says I'm going to be on the lookout for Terry to hear the rest of that story.
Okay.
So Tammy, if you run into Terry down at LCA,
I think I'm going to be there a week from this Friday.
Okay.
When they play the Dallas Stars, there is a CMU reception thing, and I think I'm going to go to that.
There you go. When we come back, we got the Motorsports Minute with Sawyer. 60 seconds. He can talk about motorsports all he wants. Whatever footage he wants to use, all of it. But once that clock hits 0, Sam kills the mic and we're done. So make sure you come back for the Motorsports Minute. But make sure you stay so I can tell you about Guardian Alarm. They get it. Good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm's got state-of-the-art technology. Helps you feel safe. 24/7 local monitoring. Also have convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights, temperatures, detect smoke, carbon monoxide. You can even lock and unlock your doors. All you got to do to get this process started, call 1-800.
Stay out.
That is 1-800.
Stay out.
1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe. Guardian Alarm's your local security experts. Get in the act with it. 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out. You bet not.
You bet not. There you go. The official TFOS endorsement. We'll be right back to wrap this up. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it. Spin. Spin. Uh-oh. Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin. Spin. Spin till you bleed.
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
The pros know. Go! Listen Monday through Friday for Big D Energy Live on the Woodward Sports Network with Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the silky voice of Neil Rule.
Final segment of the week here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Terry Foster in the house. And, yeah, you know, like we usually have this Big D Energy Pick'em segment, but, you know, it's week 18, dude. Whatever. You know, we'll talk NFL on Monday. Certainly we'll jump back in with 2 feet. But you know what it is. It's time. We promised it. There seems to be an appetite for it for whatever reason, but that's fine. If you like motorsports, good for you.
There you go. Hey, you know what, Sawyer? I'm all for it. I can't wait for you to do your auto sport 1 minute. I'm excited. Like this guy.
I am too, because the biggest leap comes from episode 1 to episode 2. I'm ready to rock too. I don't want to oversell it. I don't. But here are the ground rules. Sawyer gets to talk about motorsports, whatever he wants. The Formula 1, the IndyCar, the NASCAR, drama, whatever he wants it to be. He can do it. Sam puts a clock up, 60 seconds. The clock starts when Sawyer says his first word about motorsports, and Sam will cut off that microphone at the end of 60 seconds. Sawyer, do you have the clock ready?
I do.
Are we ready to roll? Sam, are you ready? This is you're an integral part of this.
I'm ready.
You must turn that microphone
Let's
off.
do it. Let's do it right now.
All right. Here we go. For this week's Motorsport Minute, we send it over to Sawyer, our resident motorsports expert. Sawyer, take it away.
Alrighty. So for this week, we're actually going to keep it in the States. So we're going into NASCAR, and to kick the season off, they usually do a clash at the Daytona Motor Speedway, but this year they're going all the way to LA, over to the Coliseum, and they're actually making a quarter-mile short track inside the Coliseum to do the clash that'll set up the running field for the Daytona 500. So these are some pictures I found of them. You know, they're just laying down the first little bit of asphalt to start it off, and they're doing this race fully, like, what would you want to call it, like county fair style with heat races. You win your heat race, you move on, you go to the next heat, so on and so forth until the final. So yeah, they're doing this. It's going to be a really cool event. It's going to be in February, and then after this, they'll have to hightail it over into Florida to get going for the Daytona 500. But Yeah, just a little progress report update. You know, some other news. Didn't get to grab it, but Otmir, I forget his last name. He was cut from the Aston Martin Formula One team as well. But that has been the Motorsport Minute for Sawyer.
Oh, look at Sawyer. You see the development? He took it right to the end and didn't even let Sam drop the hammer on him.
Loved it. You know,
it was interesting, for real.
It got me to thinking the Detroit Grand Prix, maybe they could run the Grand Prix and have like part of the race be inside of Comerica Park or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Just kind of come in and go out.
So explain this to me, like a quarter mile, like a track that I run on at the local high school, like a quarter mile like that?
Yeah, it'll be that small.
How many cars would be involved in this?
So I believe the heat race will be maybe like 10 to 15 cars. So it's not going to be like the full 40-car field.
Yeah.
So it'll be really small. And then by the end, like people will get eliminated, knocked off, and then I don't know. It's going to be a really cool event.
You know what?
I'm excited for it.
I'm mildly intrigued by this.
Oh yeah. Last year they put dirt on Bristol, which is a half-mile track. So they made that into a dirt track race. So it's cool, man. I'm telling you.
Rack, I'll be honest, that segment was actually pretty cool. It was, like, for real it was.
Hey,
oh,
it
wow.
was first and second, first and second segment.
Hey, Sawyer, you did something good. That's
that was actually good. Yeah.
You did it again.
Sawyer, can we get an F1 tire compounds breakdown? Maybe for future, a future episode.
Yeah,
Everyone's saying you killed it.
No, we can't. We can't do that.
Steve says, how is watching people drive in circles better than watching people fly on dragons? I bet Neil likes NASCAR too. I do not, Steve. It's my least favorite of the motorsports. Sorry. It just is. I will say, this has my attention. When is this going down?
I believe February 8th is the date.
February 8th?
Yep.
Oh, is that like the week before Daytona?
Mm-hmm.
Because NASCAR's weird like that. They put their biggest race at the front, Terry.
Right. That's like having the Super Bowl in September.
Yeah, it is. It's really weird.
Kind of dumb.
Rack says, I have big expectations for next week now.
All righty, here we go.
Now there's pressure. Now you're like Aaron Rodgers. You keep upping your game, now you got to win a Super Bowl.
You do.
Yeah. And I can't be a jerk or people won't vote for me.
No, especially if they're old curmudgeon auto beat writers.
Yeah.
Can you confirm that, Terry? You said you were on the auto beat before.
I was. I got to cover Daytona, Indy 500 every year.
Oh, great race.
What do you got lined up for the weekend, Terry?
It's going to be cold. I'm probably not going to do anything.
Just laying low?
Just lay low. I probably won't finish Game of Thrones, but I'll watch a few more episodes. I'm also watching, what's the name of that show? Oh, it's All American. Have you ever heard of that? Oh, yeah. It's on Netflix. It's a inner city kid from Compton who plays for Beverly Hills High School. And all the back and forth, you get
didn't like Jamel Hill and all them, weren't they the producers of that?
I do not know that.
Yeah, I think it was. Isn't he like he's going to play for college or whatever? And
yeah.
They won't play unless they get part of their revenue and all that kind of stuff. Is that it or not?
No.
I'm thinking of a different one. No, I'm
thinking
of a different one. Okay, cool. 9 Drink says Neil wants a drink so bad. Well, that's always the case. Terry, talk about NASCAR girls. Lucky says NASCAR's perfect for grandparents that need sleep. AC says, Neil, will you watch NASCAR now? Let's do this. Can we go do a show from MIS?
That would be awesome.
Like on that Friday or something like that?
Yeah.
Because they do like qualifying and stuff like that, right? On Fridays? Or not?
Last season they moved away from qualifying because of COVID and stuff, but I'm assuming it'll come back sometime.
Yeah, COVID keeps getting in the way, messes everything up.
But yes, a live show on location would be very cool.
Yeah, they got cars there Friday, Saturday, and of course the races on Sunday. So yeah, you could do it on Friday.
We should, man. For real.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll try it. I've never been to a NASCAR race. I'll go out there and see what it's about. I'll give it its due diligence. I mean, I remember the first time I went to the Detroit Grand Prix. I was like, wow, to watch those cars accelerate that quickly was pretty cool.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, and like the first time you see a car shaped like a NASCAR drive past you at 200 plus miles per hour, you're like, oh, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like seeing something that's just a box move that fast.
Which I would imagine that's... to me, I would think NASCAR is a lot like my donut law of diminishing returns, where like the first one's really cool, and the second one's cool but not as cool, then the third one's cool, then the fourth one's kind of cool, and then
unless you fall in love with the sport, then it becomes cooler and cooler and cooler.
Yeah, and the last 50 laps, though, the return starts to get cooler again, though. Because you lose it, like, halfway through the race, you get kind of bored, but when the race, like, gets close to the end, and when you're in that last 10 laps, then it's like 10 to go,
I will give you
9
that.
to go is
Yeah.
cooler, 8 to go is even cooler, 7 to go
I
is
do
cooler.
like the way, too, you see how reckless they get out there, like, when especially when they come, like, the last 2 laps, like, they'll literally crash the car into the wall to win.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you,
like,
the
you can tell
craziest
they're, like,
thing I
we're
ever
serious
got
now.
to experience in auto racing was I covered the Indy 500 when they allowed the media to be on that first turn at the beginning of a race. Man, they were coming out like a bat out of hell. And all these cars, and they're bunched up, and they're just... that was the crazy... But then they said it was too dangerous, which it probably was, and they shut that down.
In
But
retrospect.
it was nuts.
Thirsty Little Spin Goblin says, uh-oh, Neil's being condescending again. I'll have to work on that. I'll have to go back and watch the tape, see how I can get better.
Yeah, why don't you work to improve yourself over the weekend? Why don't you pretend that you're like us commoners and do it again?
Commoners. All right, well,
Us
hey,
regular
I'll
folks.
come back on Monday. Terry, I'll come back on Monday. I'll try to be better, everybody. Watch the Golden Grizzlies this weekend on ESPN+. I'll be on the call. Maybe I won't be as condescending. We'll see.
Don't be a snob on the broadcast.
I won't. Big efforts today out of Sam, out of Sawyer as well. Big thanks to T-Foss. Most importantly, thank all of you guys watching and interacting. This has been Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Have a great weekend, everybody. Well, see you later.
Gang, gang.